Oh, hey, I was just spinning my very not arbitrary desk globe that requires to be on any desk for it to be a true desk. Is it really that time already? Oh, looks like it is. Well, this is our Thanksgiving special. I was just sitting by my completely real fire here and enjoying myself. Good thing I have my microphone on at all times in case one of you guys shows up. In this video, I'm going to be going over the requests and the questions and the videos that you guys gave me on Instagram and on YouTube. I'm going to give you guys tips and answer those questions. This is just a relaxed Thanksgiving week special for all of us to take a break and for me to give thanks back to you guys. Anyway, let's get started. So I'm not going to do these in any specific order. What I'll probably do is I'll start with a question, go to a tip, go to another question, and vice versa. So that way there's a little bit of a variety and it's not just tons of clips and then tons of questions. So the first question is from one of my students, Isaac Wells PK, and he says, how do you make your combos flow so smoothly? So for me, what I think about the most when I'm comboing is specifically that. I don't necessarily care how fast I do my combos, and I do care about cleanliness, but for me it's more about moving smoothly because even though I want it to look clean, I also want it to feel good. And for me, if my momentum continues, then it feels really good and it feels like satisfying to do a combo. So I think about what optimizes my momentum. So for me, say I'm doing a basic combo like tornado, hook, cart, full, okay? When I do the tornado kick, I will probably kick high in the front just so that I can focus on height. If I wanted to optimize momentum, I would actually want to kick to the left a little bit because I round kick with my right leg. The reason being is that it would push me in that direction of my momentum because you're always moving generally in one direction when you're comboing. But because the tornado kick is kind of basic, I can control that motion with my cheating leg. So I'll cheat across, kick relatively high like a front kick, and then when I do my hook kick, I want to make sure that I'm doing a real hook and I kick with my heels so that it leans me again in that direction. And then when I cartwheel, I lean a ton. I basically just like fall that way and catch myself in my hands. So that way I'm not using much energy to begin the cartwheel. And then when I push off with my legs, I kick really hard. And then that gives me a ton of power to go for my cart full. So that way I can set super, super high and have like a smooth motion for all of my comboing. But it kind of goes hand in hand. So if I am not being clean with my technique and say I do a cheat 9, but it's really clumsy, then I'm not going to be smooth with my combo. So if your tricks are clean with the technique that helps you push your direction of momentum in a specific direction, then that is going to help you be smooth with your combos. Another thing is kind of just adapting to it. So sometimes I will do combos where I didn't mean to do something, but instead of just panicking or getting irritated and being like, oh man, I totally messed that up, I'll just be like, okay, whatever, I guess I'm doing a macaco now, and then I'll dub out of that, or I'll do a combo continuing with that. So it's kind of about like surrendering to the momentum sometimes and just letting yourself like flow like water from one move to the next. But the way you do that is kind of just relaxing into the next technique and then being strong when you need to. So each trick has a specific accentuation point. For example, if it's tornado, I want to lift high with my left leg and then kind of just relax and wait for it until my body's in position, and then throw the front kick hard or throw the round kick hard depending on what I'm trying to do. And then I kind of drop until I touch the ground and then I do my hook kick. So if you do something like a hook kick to another move and you kick too early with too much power, then you're actually going to start going forward this way instead of sideways, which is the way you want to go. But in summary, you basically want to hit the specific points with power and then relax for the rest of the movements and let the momentum kind of take you. If you're doing something like a power move, like a cart to something, then you shouldn't have to stand up with a lot of muscle power, because if your technique is correct, then it'll be pulling you into the next technique. You can just stand up out of the cartwheel and it'll just fling you, and then you can decide what to do with your body. So Think of it like a wave at the beach. You are riding the wave of momentum and you choose what to do with your body, but the momentum you do not control. It pushes you because you have created it. It's its own monster. Flow with the momentum, decide what you want to do with your body. All right, on to the next one. The next one is from Gabriel B06. I talked to him a lot on Instagram because he asked me for help on a bunch of different tricks, and I have a bunch of different tricks that he wants help on, so I'm gonna give him tips on a few different things, and I'm gonna go relatively rapid fire. So let's see what he's got. All right, so round hook, tornado, cart, front. Okay, you landed your cart front pretty good that time. Lately, you've been undercutting your cart fronts. I would say that your combo wasn't that bad. Clean up your kicks a little bit and focus on where you're targeting. It looks like you're looking all over the place. So you're kind of looking at the ground, you're looking over in front of you, you're looking to your left. I would target the same target directly in front of you. So if you guys are my target, I'm gonna be moving this way. So I'm always targeting you guys or somewhere in between this area. I want to target basically here, and then I want to keep moving in this direction. You kind of targeted here, 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 down, all over the place, and that gets your brain dizzy, and then you're not able to move as smoothly in your combos. Either way, that front was pretty good. Just again, like I say to you all the time, you need to tuck a lot tighter because you basically had your body completely open, and if your cartwheel wasn't good, then you wouldn't have landed that. But because your cartwheel was so solid, you landed it. So he keeps asking for tips on his 540 and his cheat 7. Let's start with the 540 because I feel like that helps you a lot more for your cheat 7 than your cheat 7 helps you for 540. Okay, so this 540 is from your 540 to aerial that you sent me. Specifically what I'm seeing is that you are not really extending all the way for your round kick for your 540. You can do a 540 like a crescent or a round kick, but do it like a round kick because it's gonna use your groin if you are pulling over with your 540 using a crescent kick. If you're just kicking straight over like this with your body facing this way, it's gonna be a crescent kick and it's gonna use your adductor muscles, which are a lot weaker than your quads. If you use a round kick, so if your knee is coming across like this and then you extend using your quads and then kick down, that's the way I recommend. You want to specifically think about cheating with this leg, and then when you come across, it is turning sideways, and then it comes across and you start kicking towards your target, and then all you have to do is step down. So basically you want to be past your target before you ever really like kick out. So you're raising your first cheating leg, put this down. So you're raising your first cheating leg, and then you lift this leg at your target, and then you extend at your target, and then just straight down to the ground. If you try to go super big like this, you're probably gonna go too slow. Make sure that you cheat across and you lean your torso so that you're basically turning to your left a ton and you're almost sideways by the time you kick. And then you can kick a kind of high round kick and then just kick straight to the ground, and that will spin you faster. And that will allow you to then just look back at your target and land with your chest up at the end. Your cheat leg itself doesn't look that bad. Your arms, you are bringing them up really high. You can pull them in when you kick, but I think it's more your right leg that's the issue. Just focus on making it more of a round kick. Okay, and onto your cheat 7. So for me, I'm not great at cheat 7 with a hook. I can cheat 7 with a crescent, like with my eyes closed. It's the easiest thing in the world. I just don't even count it as a cheat 7 when I do it. If I'm playing a game of trick or something, I'll do a cheat 7 like that, just to be like, yeah, I did cheat 7. But I'm on this quest to make my cheat 7 a true hook kick. My issue is a lack of flexibility. So when I go for a big hook kick, unless I have a massive amount of force that allows my dynamic flexibility to kick really hard, like a full hyper hook, then I can't hook kick that well. So that's like a personal issue of mine. It might be yours also. You might need to focus on flexibility a lot more. But the way I think of it to make it a hook kick is I think of it like a 540 kick, but with no kick. The reason I do that is because then I will lift my left leg up high, and then I'll lift like I'm gonna do my round kick, which sets my hips more sideways so that my hips are lined up to hook kick. Because remember, if we are standing straight up and down like this, facing the target, I cannot hook kick with my belly button facing the target because my hip won't allow me to. You have to turn away from the target before you're able to get a proper hook kick axis with your leg. Ooh. I almost tripped. With all of that being said, you basically need to get your hips sideways to do a good cheat 7 with a hook kick. So I like to go up with my left, over with my right, and then just step down and think of it like I'm doing like a butter knife or something, or a swing hook, because they're all the same kick. It's just you're doing different things in the air or on the ground before you get to that kick. But the kick at the end is exactly the same. I see that you're trying to do a hook kick. That's why I'm mentioning that. If you guys are trying to do a cheat 7 with a crescent, don't, unless you're trying to do cheat 7 double. But if you're trying to do it with a hook, that's the way I'd recommend doing it, because I think that the way with the hook looks 10,000 times cooler than the one with a crescent. If you do not pump your left leg hard enough, then you're not gonna get the height to alter those things and do all that in the air. If you do this and you find yourself, you're supposed to be going this way and hook kicking this way, but you are falling this way when you land, then that means you are not cheating to the side enough and you're not going up at like this 45-degree angle that you should before you try to turn and hook. You're probably lifting and like jumping too early, so that you are lifting and actually jumping and falling this way as you're doing your cheat, and then you're trying to throw it out and then it doesn't work. So make sure your cheat is good, which yours doesn't look too bad, and then focus on the legs, the 1, 2 to turn your hips, and then just spot your target and think of it like a lower level hook kicking trick, and you should get your cheat 7. For your gainer, you keep asking for gainer flash. Lean your head back. You are keeping your head up when you are doing this. You are like looking up at the ceiling, but that's not the same thing. When you are going for your swing, you need to bring your arms and your head all the way back here. Bring your arms back, bring your head back, look at the ground behind you, not at the sky. Kick down really hard. Your kick is already good enough and your swing is already good enough to land a gainer flash. You just keep not leaning backwards, I guess because it's scary or something. The other thing is, I keep telling you to jump forward and turn 90 degree and swing so that you fall backwards, but you keep turning and jumping this way. So you're jumping towards your momentum and swinging towards your momentum, which is what happens in a true gainer where you like swing forward and tuck. But for a slant gainer or a gainer flash, we want to do a J step or a Euro step or some other kind of going forward and then turning 90 degrees for our swing. You don't want to step forward and jump forward. You'll see it if you look at this clip. You are jumping forward and then swinging with your momentum, which makes it harder to flip. So fix that and it'll make it easier. And then if you look back, it should be cake. For your backside 9, you're just trying to kick too early. Just wait until you see your target, then kick it. What DNAP, Daniel Napolitano, says is to look kind of not at your target, but past your target a little bit, because then your round kick will start at your target and go past your target, and it'll look a lot better. So maybe think about that. Basically just 360, spot your target, wait until your hip is already there, and then just throw out your round kick and it'll look a lot better. Also, because you are trying to focus on your kick too much, you are jumping in the direction opposite of your momentum. So if I want a round kick with my right leg, I want to be traveling this way when I go for my backside 9, but you are actually jumping this way, just like I was saying on the cheat 7. So stop it. Can you cork with your gainer? Yes, if you can 360 well enough. I know you have Btwist, so just think of it like a swing Btwist, as long as you can look at the ground, because that will help you invert. You don't have to look at the ground, but I think that you are going to be a little too spooked to do that right now. Also, fix your setup. Stop running forward into it, otherwise you're going to 360 and you're not gonna have enough flip and you won't get your feet down and you fall on your face. For your cart full, you need to flip more before you engage your twist. You aren't getting all the way inverted. What it looks like to me is you're going for it, you are going up, and you're just immediately ripping the twist. So I don't know what you're looking at, but I like to spot the ground over my shoulder, and then as soon as I see the ground, I punch at the ground and slightly past it, and that initiates my twist, and it makes it really easy. Again, I recommend doing a cart front half, which is what you keep trying to do, but you aren't tucking your legs. So maybe go back to a Btwist method, because you have a Btwist and you can just go cart Btwist and then get it more and more inverted over time, rather than just being concerned about being it like really inverted or making it perfect from the beginning. Anyway, Gabe, that's enough of you for now. Let's move on to another question. We're gonna move on to a question by Badir. My dear. He says, do you think competition in the sport of tricking is helpful or harmful? So I think, like many people think, that tricking can be both an art and a sport. I think it's super beneficial to the sport. I will put it in a nerdy term and then a manly term for you. So in Pokemon, people have their Pokemon and they like do their competitions and they fight and they have leagues and they have all that stuff. Does that then take away from the people who don't want to be a trainer, who want to like breed Pokemon or have them as pets or have them do like construction work or anything like that? Nah, people both compete and play and hang out with their Pokemon, and it's kind of intertwined. You can both hang out with and like your Pokemon and do other things with them and be creative with them and do like Pokemon contests and blah 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 blah. Or you can be a trainer, but they're not mutually exclusive. In a lot of games and in the universe, people will be trainers and also breeders and also trainers and also contest people. So it doesn't really matter. You can do both, and I don't think they're, you know, mutually exclusive. And then like in real life, for like something like basketball or baseball, there are professional leagues that, you know, people compete extremely hard to get into, using their bodies every single day, training really, really hard, and you know, working themselves to the bone just to get that chance to get into a competition. Mainly that is motivated by money, but also by, you know, fame and recognition for them to be like, yes, I reached my goal, I did it, I rose to the place that I wanted to be through my own skill and my own work and my own actions. However, does that mean that people don't play baseball in their backyard or at a field, at a park with their friends, or play basketball like on a court with their friends or in school? No, it just makes it more popular because you're like, wow, look at these people that go and do this for a living. Like LeBron James is like this superstar, right? I don't care about basketball at all, but I know who that is. So that's a famous person from that sport. And it's so big that, you know, I know about that person. And all that does is kind of influence everyone else to be like, oh, I want to play this game. Even if it is not like something they're trying to do professionally, it's still fun to, you know, go play ball and like get good at it, because any game you're playing isn't really fun unless you like get relatively good at it, kind of like Kojo says. Like, if you just suck at something all the time, then it's not going to be fun. If you have these professionals that are doing it well and coaches nearby you because of the popularity of it, you can get good at it and have fun with it, even if you're just doing it for fun. So I think tricking can both be an art form where you do creativity and also be a competitive sport. I think an art and a sport are two different things, and I think that you as an individual can fluctuate between the two and still be super happy with tricks. So I think tricking competitions are super beneficial, and I think that we as trickers should take control of those so that we don't let giant corporations take it over just like Fig. All right, let's move on to J Tricks. He said, dope, any tips on double full, cork, and learning how to get power from cart full? So by from cart full, what I assume you're saying is like after your cart full, like using your cart full itself as a setup. If you want to do that, then there's two things that I think you should do. You should go relatively low and fast, as long as you can rotate all the way around, and you should go far. I know that sounds kind of weird, and it's something that I don't see a lot of people talk about, but for me, like, everything kind of relates back to tumbling, because I guess my body just likes to tumble more than it likes to do other types of movements and tricking. But it's kind of easy for me to understand. It's like, okay, momentum be going that way, so I'm gonna ride that momentum going that way, and I'm trying to move my body around that momentum. So you want to generate a crap ton of force in your cart full, and you want to go out with it, because then your chest is leaning out, and when you flip, your body is kind of long, but then you tuck it and it accelerates you under really fast, so you are already upright and you're literally falling backwards. You want to have momentum like already sending you backwards by the time you land your feet, and then you can just pop flash or land it like a swing, or, you know, do whatever you want to do out of that cart full as a setup. So just make sure that you are flipping relatively low and fast. You don't want to go like so low that you just slam into the ground. That's going to hurt your joints. You want to go like about chest level rotation. So you're just trying to flip over yourself as fast as possible so that your chest and your head is upright by the time you land. And then you just decide what you want to do. Do you want to land a hyper full and go 1, 2 and dub again or something? Do you want to land and swing into a cork? Do you want to pop flash and then combo out of that? It's your choice. You also asked for help on your wrap full snapu, and that's why I assume you mean out of your cart full and not how to get power for a cart full. So for your wrap full snapu, that's a hard move, bro. Like, it's hard. You're honestly not doing much wrong right now. You're wrapping extremely well. Your chest is already turned in your direction of momentum, which is what you kind of want for a wrap full. What I'd recommend is using your arms more. You're kind of just tucking them in immediately. While that helps for a twist, it doesn't give you much height at all. And with a wrap full, you're already going relatively low. So I would reach up more. That's gonna give you more time to set. But make sure you twist early, because with snapus, you basically want to 360 on the way up, kick, and then 360 down. Or, you know, kick and think of it like a kick full at the top. So you just kick and twist right there, and so everything happens before you even drop for your flip. Think about it like it has to be a twist, then a kick, then a twist, and then a flip. So you come all the way over. You just look like you don't have enough flipping momentum to land the full snapu right now. Honestly, you're really close though, and your kick isn't bad either. So you're kicking well. I would just say get a little more height with it, and the way you do that is by using your arms. Also, you're kind of going a little casual into your cartwheel. So if I was personally going for this, especially because it's a wrap full, I'm gonna like run into that cartwheel so that I have a lot of momentum carrying me before I wrap, and then I'm gonna aim for height when I actually go for the movement. So basically all of your forward momentum comes from the run and the cartwheel, and then the height comes from the wrap and the reach, and then from there you've set all your momentum and you have all the conditions met to do it. Then you just have to do the motion in the air and make sure your spotting is right, and then you got it. If you have access to a trampoline or something, just drill full snapu itself on trampoline, or if you have full snapu on the ground already, then just train the heck out of that so that it feels like muscle memory, and then this won't be too hard for you. So I'd recommend fixing those things, and then specifically just train the ever-living heck out of an easier progression, which is a two-footed full snapu, unless you think wraps are easier. I personally think jumping off of 2 feet is easier, but that's what I'd recommend for you, Jay. On to the real important questions. Footrocket music. Thank you for the music, by the way. Check out his music. It is in this video and in my last 2 videos, and will be in a lot more videos coming up, because he is one of my personal students and friends. He is one of my first students in North Carolina, and his progression was amazing, and he has taken all his energy that used to be into like parkour and freerunning and turned that into music, and his music has like mad Toonami vibes and also lo-fi and chill, like relaxed vibes, so please check him out. Anyway, he says, best toppings for oatmeal. That's the most important question out of all of these. What I personally like, it depends on your oatmeal, but universally I think just a little bit of butter on top is all I really need. I personally like getting the bagged oatmeals, and I generally get maple and brown sugar. So if you want to say plain oatmeal, I think a little bit of brown sugar on top, a little bit of maple syrup on top, and a little bit of butter to melt across all of it. You don't want too much water, because if you have too much water, then it just is like soupy. I like it to be kind of like a little gelatinous. I know that sounds kind of gross, but I want it to be like not too wet, you know what I'm saying, so that when I put the toppings on, especially the butter, it kind of seeps into that and makes it a little wetter at that point, and then you mix it all up, and that's some good oatmeal right there. All right, let's move on to this absolute monster of a student of mine, and also a person who trains a lot on his own, Dylan. He's asking for tips on his triple cork on grass at 13 years old. Cool. All right, so honestly, the only thing I ever noticed with your tricks, Dylan, that you need work on, specifically with your swings, is your swing. You're barely swinging your leg, and it's just absolutely ridiculous that you're getting as far as you are, because you are tucking your leg like this and doing almost a triple cork, and you do sing to dub with that kind of swing, because you're very upper body dominant with your technique. You're using your arms and your chest to do everything, and then you're just using the touchdown rise to pull you, just like I was saying, with all that momentum, and then you're blocking with the momentum, just standing up, and you're basically just doing a one leg triple full. But if you can learn to swing just a little bit better on your corks, then you will land triple cork in like probably 5 minutes, dude, because your twist is already there. You can get trip on floor and on trampoline. You can already do triple cork on trampoline. I think you just need to fix your swing, because especially later on when you want a bunch of different variations, or if you are trying to do gainer switch and stuff, it's really hard to do those things with a very tucked swinging leg. So I'd recommend just going back to your single corks and trying to make them a little more icy and just trying to keep that right leg straight the whole time. You don't have to do that on a triple cork, but that will help your body get used to the technique of keeping that leg strong as you swing to get you more height. And then you can go back to your triple cork, and even if you don't swing as high as you would in those icy corks, you'll have a lot more lift, because the reason a cork works well is because it lifts you like this, and if your leg is here like this, then you're forced to use your upper body. But if you are swinging like this with a relatively straight leg, even if it's going out to the side, then your hips get high, and then once your hips are that high, all you have to do is twist and your flip is already done. Because a lot of times what happens, and what's happening right here in this clip, is that you are twisting disgustingly well, but you don't have enough flip to get yourself upright again. So even though you're making the complete twist, you can't stand up. And the flip in this is coming from your swing. So I'd say fix your swing, bro. I just want it to be known that like my swing is like that. I used to have a pretty solid double cork, but ever since I injured my left ankle, I guess my like swinging leg atrophied and I never got it back to strength. So what I've been doing a lot lately is leg lifts and swings on the trampoline to just get really used to swinging my leg again. But that's a personal issue I've been having, so that's why I kind of have a lot to say on this topic. I've been cleaning up my swings. That's what I think you should do. All right, next question comes from Teddy, and he says, do you think I'm half decent? What can I improve on? What do I do well? So I haven't looked at all of your tricks. I know you recently just landed triple full on floor. Congratulations, that's freaking awesome. I think that if you are asking those questions, then you kind of want me to say yes. So I think that's sort of a loaded question. I would say, yeah, you're definitely half decent if you can land trip on floor. You also have a pretty good variety of tricks. I think that a tricker should be relatively well balanced. There's always going to be things that you specialize in, like people specialize in kicks or twists or whatever. But I think as a tricker, you should kind of dabble in everything so that you kind of can understand what you want your style to be. I see you do side swipes. I see you do like different combos with kicks and stuff. So yeah, I'd say you're pretty half decent, bro. You shouldn't have to ask for that compliment. I'll have to look at all your tricks and send you some hard critiques or something if that's what you want. But I think you're pretty half decent, so don't worry about it. I think you're a good tricker. Just trick and have fun. Jay, for your double cork, I would just reference back to what I was saying for Dylan for his swing. I missed your question on the cart full one, so I wanted to double back to it. For double cork, personally, the issue I have is waiting. You just gotta wait. If you're too impatient and you don't let your leg bring you up and you get your hips up before you start twisting, then you're not gonna have enough flip for your dub. If you're working on wrap full snapu, then you definitely have the ability to dub. So just wait for it like you would a regular double full. When I landed my first double corks, all I thought was swing really hard and then do a double full. I did not think double cork. I was thinking about doing a movement that I could already do rather than like thinking twist twice in a cork. I just thought swing double full, because then my body would just twist really fast like a double full, and I would like, it would already be like a motion that my brain was used to rather than a new scary motion. So as long as you can wrap your mind around turning it into a different movement sort of, then I think that's what you should think about. But yeah, just swing your leg, wait for it, get your hips flinging up into the air, and then just double twist. You can even think swing, spot, Rudy, if you have a good Rudy on trampoline or something. All right, that's all the questions I have for now, so I'm actually gonna go over the rest of the clips now and finish up this video. All right, Harrison was asking for tips on his cork. Let's look at it. Nice sunset, my guy. There isn't much you're doing wrong with it. The swing, it's the same thing I was telling the other two guys. You kind of want your swing to get your hip as high as possible, if that makes sense. So if you can swing to where you have like a relatively straight line with your hips, then when you wrap, everything will come over at the same time. So I think that is what is happening with your swings. You're swinging and kind of making like this position like this to where your upper body is here and you are kind of like this, but you want it to be more like a straight line like this so that when you twist, it'll be a lot easier. It's really hard to do in a chair. So that is kind of underpowering your swing. Your eagle looks pretty good, but you could eagle more with your back leg. Really drag it behind you as much as you can. To eagle better, you want to flex your glutes and your hamstrings and your back muscles. So you make this big arch and this big like tail of a leg that you swing, because it's like a pendulum. You want to have all this potential energy, and then you swing that potential energy and turn it into kinetic energy. Thank you, 6th grade science class. And I see that you're pulling your head up really hard, which is something that I normally have to tell people, but I think because your swing is relatively underpowered, you are having to pull your head up like that, and you do want to pull your head up like that in a normal cork, but if you had more height, then you pulling your head up like that would allow you to just be like bink and just barely land your cork. So I think it's all in the swing for you. Swing your arms, swing your leg, and then if you pull your head up like you already are, then you'll have like a really solid cork. Let's look at your other example. Yeah, it's pretty identical. It really looks like it's just the swing that is not flipping you enough. So what I'd recommend is working on your gainers maybe, cheat gainer or slant gainer, a true gainer, because that's going to help you understand how to like flip your body fast over that axis, and also a gainer flash. If you work on all three of those for like a month and then you go back to this, you'll probably have a beastly cork. All right, the next one is from Bruce. He wants tips on his punch front. First of all, punch front is hard on grass if you think of it like a punch front. What I mean by that is you want to run really fast and then kind of jump forward and just land on the balls of your feet and let the ground stop your feet. So it's almost like friction stops you, and then you just push off of your toes like this, and then that actually gets your body flipping so that by the time you tuck, you're flipping really fast already, and the tuck just accelerates the rotation. That's what it looks like you need help with right here. You are jumping relatively high, tucking a little bit, and then trying to stomp the ground. So it looks like you're trying to use the springs that don't exist in your ground to flip you. Even if you are using springs, I wouldn't recommend like jumping and stomping because it's still not optimal. What you want to do is, again, go forward and let momentum stop you and then do the flip. So it's really your punch in general. It looks like you're tucking pretty tight. You could get it tighter, but if you just fix your actual punch technique, then it will be a lot easier for you. Don't think of it as a punch, think of it as a stand up straight and let my feet get stopped, and then I jump up and tuck. And that should flip you a lot faster. This was literally the first trick I learned on grass, and so it actually took me a while to get this high because of these same issues. I kept trying to jump and stomp the ground, but it's not that. That's actually just sending most of your momentum into the ground and not pushing you back up. You want to use your calves, and you want to point your toes, and you want to set really high as if your butt is the highest point, and then tuck, and then you'll be flipping super, super fast. So then you'll have to probably open up early to not over rotate. Let me know if that helps. Your tuck is pretty solid, so I think it's just your punch. All right, the next one is from Rockside. He wants tips on his hyper twist and his cart full, specifically hyper Btwist. So he's doing it into a foam pit here, and it looks like he's doing a hook, but he said that it was not an intentional hook kick. So what it looks like to me is that you need to specifically just work on your set more. I'd be interested to see what your regular Btwist looks like. Let me see if I can find it on your Instagram really quick. I see what looks to be a picture of a Btwist. I see some pretty solid abs, nice dude, but I don't see any videos of your Btwist. I did see a really solid Webster, that looks really good. Anyway, it looks like you are not butterfly kicking enough before you're going for this. Your head is down pretty much the whole time when you're starting this, so it's making it more of like an aerial twist. So I'd recommend lifting your head up and then trying to twist for it. You want to maybe practice some 540s. I actually have a hyper twist tutorial, so if you haven't seen that yet, I'll link it right now in the card, actually over there, and that can help you. The easiest way I think of it is I set like a butterfly kick, I twist, and then when I spot the ground for a normal B-twist, I just keep my head up and I think 540, and that just makes me come over really fast. I don't even have to kick really hard. It's just my hip turning like a 540 allows my right leg to land. Generally, the reason that you are hooking out accidentally is because your other leg is being flung up by this momentum because your legs are kind of just like open, and then it's just coming out like a hook kick. So I think if you keep your let's see, you twist to your right. So I think if you keep your left leg straight on takeoff and you just arch your back, and then if you set well enough, all you're gonna have to do is keep your head up and twist until you can land back on your left leg. Really, your head being down and you not setting very well with your left leg is the issue. If this is mirrored, because of Instagram, then just right leg, you know what I'm saying. For your cart full, the issue is actually your cartwheel. Your full is pretty solid. What you're doing is you're doing your cartwheel and then you're bending for power and then jumping, but that actually just gets rid of all your power. If you do a lot of box jumps or something, then you will probably be trying to use that power. But if you are using momentum and you stop your power by bending it and then trying to jump again using your muscles, it's actually just wasting all the energy that was coming from your cartwheel and the momentum, and then you are basically just doing a standing full at that point. So keep your legs like pretty much completely straight, not locked out, but like really, really straight, and then just allow the cartwheel to pull you up in the air and then rip that full, and it'll be super easy. Evan asked, how do I initiate the twist for my Btwist? Off jumping over the lifted leg, hooking past the lifted leg like a Cairo, or just bringing the legs together. I will show you. So essentially what you want to do is you want to have this as your axis. So I lift here like this with my right leg for power, and then I am turning my hips and I'm trying to keep this leg as straight or as bent as possible, lifting upwards. As long as I'm lifting upwards, it can be bent a little bit. Aesthetically, you should keep it relatively straight though. And then the power actually comes from this leg. So I think of it kind of like, not necessarily I don't think cheat, but it's like a cheat. So it's here, and then when I'm twisting, this leg is still up. I'm just stepping so I don't die. Here, I'm twisting with that leg up. I look over my shoulder, and then I pull to the side using this knee, and then I just keep that right leg up, and that allows me to twist really fast. It's more of a hip twist than it is necessarily an upper body twist, but it should be everything all together. It's almost like your set is your lower body, your initiation of twist is your upper body, and then your finishing of your twist is your lower body using that leg. Okay, Matevs. I think for your cheat gainer, you're actually doing almost everything right. It looks really solid, but you're doing the same thing that Gabe was doing. So instead of jumping forward and turning 90, you should be jumping this way and then turning this way to swing. The reason being that when you land, your momentum starts to fall backwards when you swing that leg. You are like turning, and like right before you actually jump, you do your turn and then you just jump forward in the direction that you're gonna swing, which again under rotates your power. Like you're not gonna have as much power if you're jumping forward and swinging forward, because then all the momentum is going forward and there's not enough to bring you backwards to flip. So jump forward off of your right leg, literally forward towards the wall. Like in the first clip, you should be jumping towards the posters on the wall, and then in the air, turn sideways and then swing, and then you've got it. Everything else you're doing is great. You're spotting correctly, you're swinging correctly, you're tucking correctly. It's your J step that's messing you up. For those of you who are working on a cheat gainer, if you can't do it out of multiple setups, like a spin step or a Euro step or different things like that, or just like a scoot or something, then it's probably because your J step is messed up and you haven't been doing a cheat gainer this whole time. Fix your setup, or maybe try it from a scoot or a different setup, and you'll see what it will actually feel like. You're just wasting power right now. You said you want to make it more like a gainer flash. Once you fix your setup, basically what you want to do is just spot back farther. The main difference body-wise between a gainer flash and a cheat or slant gainer is where you're looking. If you look to the side, your body's gonna curve over like a hollow position. If you look backwards, your body's gonna arch over, and then your kick is almost the same thing because you're using your quads to do that kick. So it's more about your spotting to make it a gainer flash. Why is this? Wants help with his TDR. Honestly, your TDR looks pretty good, but I believe the surface you're training it on this clip is moving, bro. So that's getting rid of a lot of your power. Most of what you're doing is correct. I would recommend training on not a carpet that moves around underneath you, because that's basically training on like sand or like ice or something. It looks like you're wasting a ton of power that you could have. Other than that, you were saying that it's your arm that's the issue. You said, I can't reach my hand over the top no matter how hard I try. That is because it's actually your left leg that's the issue. You want to kick your left leg farther backwards, but because it's coming around to the side, all you can do is reach sideways, or else you're not going in the same plane for your momentum. So because your leg is coming here, and your upper body, like this is your head and this is your leg is going here and your upper body is here, and then when you try to reach down, if you actually reach backwards, you'd be going that way, but your momentum is coming towards me. So if you reach backwards, you just fall over on a ball or like roll like a pencil roll, because your leg is already sideways. So you have to reach down this way so that you come down sideways, because that's the only way to land the movement. But what you want to do is you want to step forward like you are, but then kick backwards, because when you turn, your leg is already going to come around to the side no matter what, just because of like the way you're turning your body, and then that'll allow that arm to reach backwards. So what I'd recommend is going back to your Raiz and see if you can do a Raiz. If you can do a pretty inverted Raiz, then just do a Raiz and put your hand down and you got a touchdown Raiz. If you can't do a Raiz at all, then that's probably the issue. You're just not used to having to generate enough momentum to flip yourself for the Raiz, and I think that that isn't necessary, but helps a ton for understanding inversion on your touchdown Raiz. So you need to kick backwards and not sideways for your TDR, and that'll allow your hand to then go over the top. Because it looks like you're trying to go over the top and reach over the top like I was saying, but your body instinctively is reaching sideways because of the way your momentum is going. Also, just don't train on that carpet, bro, or like get those sticky things underneath so that it doesn't move around. Hitspaz wants tips on his double Btwist. I asked to see a clip of his regular Btwist, but at the time I'm recording this, he has not sent that to me yet. To be honest, I don't think you should be trying double Btwist yet. It just doesn't look like you're getting enough power for that. Your power on your Btwist comes from the lifting leg and the linear momentum and your head lifting up. So you want to do your dip and have your head completely up, and then because you kick so high, it creates this like U position with your body, and then that lifts you up into the air, and then you twist around that. But right now, you are tucking that knee a ton, and your leg is not actually giving you much lift at all. So if you try to double twist that, like you're gonna do what you just did in that clip, where you're just smashing yourself into the ground over there. I also would recommend running a little bit more, because you don't necessarily need to run a lot for Btwist, but you're taking like one step and then going for double B. That seems a little intense unless you already know how to do a double Btwist. In terms of twist, your twist looks pretty good, but you have absolutely no height to work with. So I'd recommend going back to butterfly kick and getting a crazy high butterfly kick, and then getting a crazy high butterfly twist, and then getting a crazy high hyper twist. And then if all of those things are high up, then all you gotta do is go up, do your hyper twist, and then turn a little bit more, and then you got a double B. But currently at this stage, your kick and your lift in the back is not gonna get you to double Btwist. If you get it, I'm gonna be real impressed, because you are like really close to the ground and it was all twist at that point. Mikael Weston said, even though I can't 540 round, I can land 540 hook consistently, but sometimes I travel a little and I'm having trouble getting accurate with it. What are some ways to start cleaning it up, coach? So text-based things like this are really hard to analyze, and that's why all of us in the teaching community always ask you for clips, because I don't know what you're talking about right now. It sounds like you're using Taekwondo terms. So if you're doing a 540 round, you're saying you can't 540 round, but you can 540 hook. So a 540 hook in Taekwondo is a cheat 7 in tricking. So if you can 540 hook, which is cheat 7. I assume you're trying to improve it and make it a cheat 9. So in Taekwondo terms, that would be a true 720. Basically, you're lifting, you're going like this. I'll use my chair. You're lifting here, you're rotating all the way to here, and then you're doing your round kick. Yeah, that's cheat 9 in tricking. If that's what you're talking about, then what you need to do is actually stay upright. For a cheat 7, especially with a hook kick, you want to be sideways, and that's why this jump from cheat 7 to cheat 9 is really hard for a lot of beginners, because with a cheat 9, you actually want to leave this knee up and rotate all the way back around until you see your target, and then bring your knee a little past your target and then switch so that this leg is up, and then it's as easy as round kicking. You want to actually keep your chest up until the last second, and then you switch and round kick. Do not even think of it like a cheat 7. Just think of it as like a tornado lift, and then you just cheat nothing. That's what I like to think. Cheat nothing, gyro, round kick. Or if you have a backside 9, you can do cheat nothing, spot, backside 9, and then it'll help you get your cheat 9. If you're talking about 540 round, as in a round kick where you land on it, like a tricking 540. In Taekwondo, most people call it a volley kick or a volley kick. Then you want to lift this leg, turn your hip all the way, like you're basically doing a tornado kick, but behind you a little bit. And then instead of kicking like at the target, you want to just kick across and down. A lot of people kick across and then they just try to wait until they land, and that's why they get stuck for that. You want to kick across and then literally down, and then when you go down, you turn and spot your target so that you are just twisting around your right leg as an axis. Hopefully that helps you, Michael. Well, technically, no. Says, I have a hell of a time keeping my legs split for a cheat gainer, so I end up losing my height because I'm just desperately trying to get my feet around to the ground at the same time. I have a relatively solid degree of active straddle flexibility for something like an aerial, because he spent a lot of time training handstands for straddle, blah, blah, blah. But I cannot for the life of me get my legs split for a cheat gainer or flash kick. So it's completely different flexibility and strength. A straddle uses these muscles on the outside to pull you out like this, and a front split or cheat gainer motions uses your quads and your glutes and your hamstrings to pull in opposite directions. So leg lifts forward and backwards with both legs will help you a lot for that. Training front splits on both legs will help you a lot for that. And then if I had a video, it would help. Maybe you're one of the guys who sent me a video on Instagram and I already answered your question. If not, well, technically no, then hopefully that will help you out. Yeah, you can do leg lifts just slowly with weights, or just active leg swings on both legs, forward and backwards. You can do a lot of like butt workouts. Ladies have a lot of butt workouts on YouTube that you can just look up, like any like glute workout, because that's going to help you a ton. And then specifically working out your quads will also help you. You can work on your toe points, so just lift and point, lift, point, and just work on those things. Anything that's going to develop the front and the back of your legs is going to help you, because right now you have really strong pulling sideways muscles. Also, I personally don't think of an aerial as a straddling motion. I think of it as a front split, because I kick backwards and then I 180 and I kick downwards. So it's all front and back leg dominant. Hopefully that helps you. The legendary Bear Grylls says, how to use arms while doing a corkscrew. So when I'm doing a cork, my corks are very upper body dominant too, which I think is dumb. I think you should have both. But what you want to do is you want to do what, you know, Towels calls like riding the barrel. You want to get in the barrel like this. So it's hard to explain, but essentially you are cranking your arms back for that eagle. And then when you swing, you bring both arms over, and then your leg is swinging through kind of where your arms are reaching, and then you punch across. So I like to go over like this, and I look at the ground here, and then I wrap it in, and I turn around and face my direction of momentum. So I'm going backwards to my direction of momentum. And yeah, that's really it. It's just swing up, swing over, pull in. Swing up, swing over, pull in. That's what I do in a cork with my arms. Andrew says, how to not rush the twist and be able to achieve a good set. Depends on your movement, but essentially you just gotta wait. I find that spotting helps me a lot with that. Double cork, for example, is always an issue for me, but double full is like as easy as pie. And that's just, I guess, because I'm more comfortable getting power off of 2 feet than 1 foot. But essentially what I do is I'll set with my arms and I'll just wait until I see where I'm going and where I'm trying to land, because then I know my legs are already above my head, because then I'm physically able to be like upside down looking at the ground, yeah? And then I twist, or I twist a little earlier than that if I know I'm at a flat angle, and then I twist depending on the variation I wanna do. Or I spot my target if I know where my legs already are. It's like one of those things, but for me, it's visual. It's like knowing where my body is, or if I'm doing a move that's relatively blind, it's about knowing that my head is underneath my legs, at least at a 45-degree angle, if not all the way inverted, because then I know that I have enough flip to finish the twist that I'm gonna do. And then I do the twist, because most people, most humans can twist almost twice, even if they have never trained, because it's not that hard to just jump off the ground and twist 2 times. So your twist generally is not the issue, it's generally the flip and the timing. So how to be patient on setting is spotting so that you're comfortable with it. For me, in some of my tricks, I'll be like, nope, like halfway through if I'm going for like a dub or I'm setting for a triple, I am going over for the twist and I start to twist and I'm like, nah, it ain't gonna work this time. So I just do a lower variation. The only reason I can do that is because I know where I am in the air, because I'm looking and I'm feeling in my body. I'm like, okay, do I have the power? And you can feel the power, like you can feel it pulling you, and you can be like, yes or no. And then you're like, yes, okay, bam, rip it, and boom, landed my trick. If you go for a trick and you don't feel that power, like I promise you will feel it if you're doing it right. You'll be like, whoo, that was some power. Then just don't do it, man. Like, for right now, I've been training single corks a lot. I've been doing like all my setups into single corks because I'm still struggling to get my double cork back to where it was. I can still do it from time to time, but it's not consistent, and that's ridiculous to me. So I'm working on height and power in my singles because then it's just a safer way to train it, and I'm already doing my singles really high, and then I can just crank that twist, and it's going from a single to a double is not that hard when you already know how to do that in other tricks. So yeah, a good set just comes from being patient with the power from your setup and spotting. Hey, I'm actually editing right now, but I forgot to add you, Auto Addicts Hub, to this. I told you I was gonna put you in the video, and I'm not gonna lie to your digital face like that. So basically you wanted to know how to improve your side flip. You just landed your first side flip. Congrats on that. That's awesome. It kind of looks a lot closer to an aerial than it does to a side flip right now, though. It kind of looks like you're just doing an aerial and then putting your legs together and landing on 2 legs at the same time, kind of like a sideways Barani or Brandy or something like that. Anyway, what I would recommend is incorporating your upper body more now. So from what I remember, you are doing your side flip on your left side. So you lead with your left leg and then you dip like an aerial. That's your first mistake. You can learn it that way, and that's like a legit tactic to learn it. But to get it better, to improve it, what you want to do is you want to dip down like with your lower body. So keep your upper body up, kind of do that trot step like you're going to go for like a Kong or something in parkour. And then you actually want to reach up and over, kind of like you're going up and over a barrel or something, because that is going to set your body on more of a sideways axis, so that when you tuck, you're actually going up, and you're kind of going still over your head, but if you still split your legs, it's going to keep you low. So the more you do it with like a split aerial technique, the lower and the longer you're gonna go. And if you want to do it high, you want to actually have your legs split at the beginning, but then jump off of both legs at the exact same time, reach up and over, and then tuck in the tightest ball you can so that you can rotate back to your feet. So slowly start to bring your legs closer and closer together on takeoff, and start to reach up more and more and getting more in a ball to make it look more like a traditional side flip. If you are doing this for distance, like a long jump or you're trying to jump a gap or something, this is kind of the way you want to do it. Just reach up more. The main issue right now that I have with yours is that you are dipping low like an aerial, but there's no real like up. It's just kind of like a Webster where you like put your legs together, or an aerial where you put your legs together. It's kind of like in the mix. Reach up with that arm and tuck in a ball, and it'll improve your side flip. And that is all of the questions that I got. So I thought I was gonna have maybe 2 or 3, and you guys gave me a heck ton. So hopefully this video isn't too long, but I really wanted to do something a little different and give back to you guys for all of your subscriptions and your comments and spending time with me on YouTube as a community. I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate all 489 of you. We are really close to 500 subs, and I'm thankful for every single one of you guys, because I know that every single one of you guys is a person that is deciding to watch my content and learn from me, so thank you for that. This fire is getting really warm on my back, and it's actually pretty warm in this house already because it wasn't that cold today. I just wanted to dress up fancy for Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or you just get together and eat a lot of food, or you just have time off from work and school. Either way, I hope you have a great time and you train a lot and you play a lot of video games and you relax with your family. If this video was helpful or fun to watch, please leave a like. Please subscribe down below and help me on my quest to 1,000 subs if you guys aren't subscribed and you're watching this. Until next time, please stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you guys later.